when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Radio with Eliza Jayne and Dixie.
Welcome to Dead Sexy Radio. This is Eliza Jayne, and I'm here with...
This is Alan, the pizza guy.
Where's my pizza?
It's Dixie. I forgot my online moniker for a second. So this is Dixie, the pizza guy. Your pizza is not ready.
One day I'm going to say I'm not Eliza Jayne. I'm going to be someone else. I'm going to come up with something clever to say. I'm going to be Jane Eliza instead. That's
Jane Eliza.
Clever.
That works. Jane
This is Jane Eliza. That doesn't even ring. You even have a good ring.
Yeah, that's not a good moniker. You could be like 90% of the models on Model Mayhem and have some really, really stupid name, like Cupcake 005 or
Cupcake. Bootylicious.
Sugar. Yeah. Or the original Ashley. What? I wish I could remember some of the weird crap I've gotten now from people. I'm like, yeah. How do you expect someone to take you serious when you push a name like that? Seriously, you know, if you want,
they're using stage names. Names that they should be using on a stage.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Polish names. Get it? Polish.
Polish. Hey, I'm Polish.
Now I have a bunch of Polish people mad at me. That's okay. They're not bright enough to find where I live.
Hey, I said I was Polish.
I know, but I was ignoring you because I knew, like I said, you could never find where I live.
I know where you live.
You already know where I live?
Yeah, you know I know where you live.
You know I live in Alabama.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking, oh, my God, I thought he lived in Florida.
I know. I have your address. I've mailed you stuff before.
It's still, if you have to be down here to realize how bad that address actually is. I live nowhere near the town that I live in.
Okay, fine. You sent me a fake address?
No, it's just the weird numbering and naming system. Like, I live in, here we go, internet stalkers, here's your chance. I live in Summerdale, Alabama. That's my address. In Summerdale, Alabama, their like city limits or whatever go almost from the Florida state line east of me to like 10 miles west of me. And there are other little cities and things that are like within a mile of me, but I'm not in their whatever their city limits. It's kind of weird. It's like every space of land in the county I live in that was not another city got gobbled up by Summerdale. So I actually live way, but that's all boring. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah, I'm bored already.
I know. Our 3 viewers are right now switching off en masse. If 3 can do anything en masse, I'm not sure.
All math.
I don't like, just forget about that. So, what's up with Eliza Jayne?
Oh, same old. Not a whole lot.
Spectacular on the internet and having like lots of people from the Middle East hit on you?
Yeah. Enough of the dick pics. Please stop sending them. I'm not replying to your mail. Oh, yeah, and if you have a girlfriend or a wife, you might as well not send me a message. I'm not going to reply. I don't actually reply to most of those messages that people send me. Who has time? unless someone's legitimately sending me a message about a project or, you know, a legitimate photographer, film director, you know, another model or actress wanting to collaborate with me, I can't reply to those messages. It's just really too time-consuming. I really appreciate all the support and stuff and the people who send me messages, you know, telling me that they enjoy my project and the projects I work on and my photographs, but it is really impossible to message all of the people back. I get a lot of really nice messages. Some women send me messages saying, you know, that I inspire them and stuff, and I love all those messages, but it really is impossible to reply to some of those messages.
Yeah, well that's nice, and I understand it is, and I know other celebrities have that issue, and like the Saska sisters, who are two of my favorite directors, they've had to say, you know, we're not going to respond to messages anymore unless we are working with you on a project or are friends. And then, you know, they've got other ways to contact. Obviously, if you've got their cell phone number, text them. If you're working with them, you're going to be texting. But they've had to say, we're not going to answer messages online because you can't. And even me, I have a hard time keeping up. I get so many messages every day from people who want to kill me, who call me an idiot. One guy said I was a chode. I don't have time to respond to all those.
What's a chode?
I don't know, but it actually went to my other box, so I didn't even know it was there, so we're not even friends. And he called me sir, though. He was like, you, sir, are a chode. And
oh, yeah, the other box. I can't even go to the other box. Like, too many there, too.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a chode is.
Well, I'm not sure, but he called me sir, so I guess it's something good. And I wanted to thank him, but, you know, I just don't have time. And lately I've got a lot of, and I'm not sure if it's connected with Dead Sexy Radio, because we do have our Dead Sexy Facebook page that we get messages to, and we have Amy who keeps up with that. But I got, like, at least 7 or 8 messages from different bands saying, hey, listen to my band, and hey, I'm a model. And I don't know if it's just random spam or if it's because of the radio show. But I'm sorry if you're not on my friends list, my personal friends list, and you send me a message, I'm probably not going to answer. And I was joking. I don't get nearly the messages you get. But it's hard enough because I dabble in so many different things to keep up with my friends' messages. And, you know, I did a photo shoot the other day, and I had my friend, you know, which I thought I was pretty much retired from taking pictures, at least temporarily for the time being, and someone asked me to go photograph their wedding, which I absolutely hate doing weddings. Absolutely hate it. But I hate it to say no. So I'm messaging from her, messaging from you about the radio show and other people about conventions, and it's impossible. And I hate Facebook messaging anyway. If you're my friend and you're listening to this and you want to talk, then you send a text.
Right.
Way more.
Yeah, if you have your phone number, why aren't they just texting you?
I know. And because my Facebook goes to my phone, if I'm out driving or I'm eating or I'm at work, well, I have to have it turned off at work now, but asleep, if you Facebook message me, it pops up on my phone. And I hear it. Sometimes it wakes me up. Then it uses my data, blah, 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 blah. And I think because of my phone, people think I'm online a lot of times, but I'm not. You know, I may have my phone in my backpack and be out wherever at a bar, and people say, oh, look, he's online. Let's send him a message. Most of the time I'm not.
Right.
You know, but I also have I have a hard time not answering messages when someone messages me. And I've also had 1 or 2 people, they message me, and like 5 minutes later, they're like, oh, my God, hurry up, answer me. I got to have an answer now. If you needed to...
See, I always keep my Facebook chat off for that reason. I never have my Facebook chat on.
I have to start doing that because, you know, and there are so many people who want that answer now, and I'm not in a position to give you an answer now all the time. You know, you're like, how much would you charge me to do this? I don't know. You know, I'm lying in bed trying to go to sleep. so I'm not going to give you an answer now. Or I'm eating dinner, I can't get up off my dinner table and go look on the internet and see what someone said. And I get a lot of that too. Oh my God, did you see what so-and-so posted? It's cool, but once again, don't expect me to answer or check right away. And if you really need me, text. And if anyone really needs my number, ask me. And if I agree with you, I'll give it to you.
Right.
Okay, but that's internet fame. So that's basically you got the internet fame and the stalkers going, which I have the internet infamy, I guess, of being an asshole going for me. Did you see my Facebook picture where Kane Hodder is literally beating the shit out of me?
I saw that. I really enjoyed that photo.
I know. So did Kane.
I wish that I could do that to you. Maybe you should post that on the fan page.
That's a good idea. I might. I like my picture with Catherine Isabel better, even though I look like a chode in it. She should have choked me. If she'd have choked me, I would have liked that picture a lot better.
If she choked you, you would have liked it?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I didn't want to tell her that, but yes, definitely. Any red-blooded man would like to be choked by Catherine Isabel.
I didn't actually even see your photo, so I'm going to have to go in there and look.
Go through my photos, and I have a hard time finding the Catherine ones because it's, I don't know, I didn't take all of them with my phone. Some of them were on Robin's phone, and she tagged me in them, and so some of them show up, some of them don't, but they were all on my page. So they're probably on my timeline pictures, I guess. If you look at album, timeline photos. And, of course, the Kitty Haiku T-shirt.
Yeah. More about this Chitty Haiku.
Chitty Haiku Day was a rousing success. We had 63 haikus by 10 people. 2 of them were female, which always makes me happy because then they know that it is for fun and it's not meant to be sexist or misogynistic. And I did the T-shirts hoping that I could potentially sell them and donate some of the profits to the Relay for Life and Scares and Cares for breast cancer awareness. That was my goal.
Excellent. I like it.
Yeah,
I saw the T-shirt. I really liked it.
It's a beautiful T-shirt. It's very, very beautiful. And I'm probably going to get some more done and actually buy some ads and try to sell them. But for now, I cannot find my picture with Catherine Isabel, so that's going to send me to. Oh, there it is. There's one of them. There's the one I took on my phone, though. Oh.
Well, I can't see through the phone, so I'm going to have to get on there and look.
Well, it's on Facebook, but I took it with my phone. So it's not like a glare.
I'm going to have to get on here and look and see it.
It's not the scan. I don't know where the scan went to. I have a scanned one somewhere. Yes, the internet's just way too complicated for me. That's the truth.
I'm surprised that's not your profile picture. If you have a video, not a video, a photo with your favorite woman.
Who?
You.
Yeah, I guess the only reason it's not is because I look like a doofus. But you know what? If I find the picture, I'm going to definitely make that my profile picture. There's the blurry one. I'll make it the blurry one. How does that sound?
What? You'll make it what?
I'm going to make it a picture with her right now because that's what it should have been anyway. I don't know why I left the Kane one up. Kane already knows that I could whip his ass in a fair fight, so
You could have made it your cover photo instead.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work as good.
Well, I see I have some captain photos to work with now for some cover photos. You took some captain photos, so.
Yeah, those have been up for a while. So you just don't. You're just not a good friend. You don't.
Well, it's just that I have a lot of Facebook friends, so I don't look in my news feed a lot, so I don't get to see.
You don't look in your nude feed?
Yeah, my nude feed. What does that even mean? News feed. Now I have a funny accent. Now you're making fun of the way I talk.
Well, you know, turnabout is kind of fair play.
I don't even see the photo of you and her. Maybe I don't even know what she looks like.
She's wearing a baseball cap.
She's wearing a hat?
A baseball cap.
Well, that would be a hat.
She likes to wear a baseball cap.
She wanted to?
She wore one to the convention. I wasn't going to tell her to take her hat off. I kind of wanted to, but...
I would be like, bitch, take your hat off.
Well, she at least...
Oh, why is it sideways?
Because I sent it from my phone.
You can't make that your profile picture. It's freaking sideways.
I'm not going to make that with my profile picture.
That's not a bad photo of you. Why are you tilting your head away from her instead of towards her?
Well, because it's a photo shoot and you have like 3 seconds.
Kelly says she's got an amazing rack. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for the rack she sees.
Because she's kind of like pushed out. Believe me, I saw the rack very well. In my other
I'm just making fun of you.
She has a
just
great
kidding.
rack.
I'm just kidding.
I got to watch her rack while she was signing my picture. Sarah, that's a picture of her with a baseball cap. Even though her rack doesn't look as amazing in that picture, it really was.
Well, if I was there, I would make her compare it to mine and be like, let's compare racks.
Oh, no.
Yachts. No, just kidding. What?
No. It's a totally unfair comparison.
Yeah, it's not fair. Just kidding. I'm just trying to give you a hard time.
Not my rack, so I'm good either way. But it was a fun convention, though, even though there was like this huge controversy about the greed of the Walking Dead guests, which I know if we have any fans at all listening, they're probably Walking Dead fans, but the whole $10 meet and greet scandal, which I would call it $10 meet and greet gate, but that's kind of silly.
Meet and greet gate?
Yeah, $10 meet and greet gate. I should have named it that anyway, though. I could be like one of those internet people who's all famous because they come up with like a great name. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this because you have worked at conventions. Like that's kind of how we met. And you worked at the celebrities desk, right? And for the people who are listening who do not know about conventions, and for those who do, normally you pay a ticket price to get into a convention, and then you get in line to meet your favorite celebrity, and you can buy an autograph from them, which runs from $20 to $50 now, or $100 for Norman Reedus. And you can get your picture taken. Normally, you get your picture taken free at the table, although recently celebrities have started charging you to take a picture at your table, and a lot of people don't like that, which I personally don't like that either. And that's normally like $20 to $50 with some celebrities, which is way too much. But, and you can back me up, most of the time if someone walks up to the table and says hello to the celebrity, that's free once you bought your ticket, right? You know, and it can kind of hold up the line, but people do that. They'll just walk up, especially if the celebrity's not busy. It's like, hey, I loved you in The Road Warrior, or if it's like one of the True Blood, I loved you in True Blood. Like, and that's always free. You know, you go up, you say hi, you walk off, maybe you get a handshake. That's it. But there was one of the celebrities, actually there were two, one of them got caught and posted on the internet, who they were actually charging people to come up and say hello to them. And if you walked up to say hello and did not pay, they would just ignore you. And it was $10 a person. So if you brought up 3 kids and you and your kids want to say hello, it was $40 just to say hello and have the person return that greeting. Now, what is your opinion of that? To me, that is pure and simple shitty, greedy behavior.
Yeah, I think you're a human being, and I don't think that you should charge to speak to another human being. Like, I just think that it's so ridiculous, and how vain would one person be to think that you're so much above another human being, that you're on this pedestal and you think that you're worth so much that you...
Exactly.
Like, that you would just fucking say, you have to pay money to speak to me. Like, I'm worth so much more than you, and my time's more valuable than yours, and you should have to pay to speak to me.
Exactly.
Like, that's just ridiculous.
And you see Norman Reedus, and Norman was charging $80 for his autograph and $100 for a professional photo op, which is still high. But
I still think that's ridiculous. But
it is.
I wouldn't pay that.
No, me
I wouldn't
either.
pay that either.
I met Norman back when he was charging $25. But if you get in Norman's line and wait for hours to go up to his table and say hello, he will shake your hand, hug you, say hello, and no charge. And they do move you along quick because his lines are absolutely stupid. Even at $80 a pop, you might wait in line for an hour or two to meet Norman. The only thing I will say in defense of the girl who played Tara, her real name is Alana Masterson, is that she hasn't done many conventions. And I honestly think she had an agent who told her, hey, this is what you need to do. And she listened to the agent. Still doesn't...
You're assuming that. You don't know that for a fact, though, right?
No, I don't know that as a fact. I've heard a bunch of different stories. The guy who played Bob on The Walking Dead, whose name was Lawrence Gilliard, I think, was also charging $10 to meet him, supposedly. I didn't see the sign. I was actually at the table next to her and actually saw her sign. So I know she was charging $10 a pop.
Did they have the same agent?
Don't know. No one has yet stepped up and said that they're agents for this person because there's been so much hate. It kind of went viral on the Internet Saturday night of the convention, and Sunday night she had no one at her table because so many people were pissed. And no one has yet stepped up and said, I'm her agent, and a couple of people like Sean Clark, who manages, and I'm not throwing Sean under the bus because he's a decent guy. Sean manages Norman Reedus, and he made it a point of saying, hey, for those people wondering, Norman Reedus does not charge to get in line and say hello to him. And one of the other agents there said, none of my celebrities charge you to say hello. So I kind of think it was an agent who just got involved after this whole Walking Dead craze happened. And, you know, I don't want to throw any conventions under the bus, but there are some conventions out there that are just extremely expensive, like $1,200 for a VIP ticket, which is ungodly. You know, there are conventions out there that probably don't have a $1,200 budget. You know, these small conventions. It's just ridiculous. And you know, I just kind of feel bad beating this girl up without knowing the whole 100% story. But she also has not yet come forward and gave her side of the story. And, you know, there's been no mention of it from the convention, so it's hard not to dump most of the blame on her.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And
I don't know,
the other thing,
I feel like, go ahead, what were you going to say? I feel like you have to maintain some level of, I don't know. You have to maintain some level of, you know, being
humanity
in the public eye. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Humanity. I mean, no matter how big you get, you just have to. I mean, you have to be human, and not allow your head to be big and think that you're better than other people. I carry around 4x6 photographs in my purse, and whenever someone sees me in public and will actually come up to me, because sometimes people will message me on Facebook, they'll be like, I saw you at, you know, the gas station, and I was so nervous I didn't come up to you and say hi. I love when people come up to me in public and they're like, how are you, Eliza Jayne? I can't believe it, because to me I'm not really famous in my own mind. So it's really neat when people come up to me and recognize me. I give them a picture. You know, to me, that's nothing. It's really important to me that people support me because that's how I grow and that's how I become more. And so I think that that's so crappy. It makes people like me and people like me and people like you know, who are trying and are, I guess, a little bit more humble look bad.
Yeah. Well, you look at the celebrities like Sid Haig, who is the greatest guy in the world, and Sid Haig has people waiting to meet him at every convention he goes. And Sid is he's so humble. He's such a great guy, and his whole statement that he's still charging $20. And this is a man who could be charging way more than that. Maybe he wouldn't have people paying $100 for his autograph, but he could be charging $30, $40 for an autograph. And he doesn't. And you can walk up to Sid's table and say, oh, my God, I loved you in The Devil's Rejects or Foxy Brown. Can I take a picture with you? Sure. And he doesn't charge you. You ain't put $1 in his hand for anything. And most celebrities won't do that. They won't let you come up and just snap a picture of them without buying something. Sid will, you know, and he's realistic. He knows you can't stand there and take pictures of him all day because other people want to meet him. But if you just want to come up and get a quick picture with Sid, he's cool with it. And he has longevity that a lot of these people won't have. And he has an acting career and if there's any fans of The Walking Dead or any actors, celebrities of The Walking Dead listening, there are a lot of y'all, this is the highlight of your career. And when your run on The Walking Dead ends, a lot of you guys aren't going to have work. And if you piss off your fans, you're not going to have that secondary income at conventions long either. And Sid Haig has been working since the late 60s, still gets jobs, and fans still want to see him. You know, people lined up to take pictures of him in the makeup this weekend at Mad Monster Party. And he's still a nice guy. If he knows you, he'll come up and say hi to you. He'll stop in the lobby and chat with you. And Sid ain't never charged nobody $10 to talk to him.
Yeah, you have to support the people who support you.
Exactly. And it's really somewhat tempered my love of The Walking Dead. And Tara is critically wounded, and her run on The Walking Dead may end this week or early next season, you know. And she really needs to, Alana really needs to think about managing her fan base better and cultivating that fan base. Because 20, 30 years ago from now, when you're not an actress anymore, which is very possible, you may be able to use that Walking Dead fame to get you to a few conventions. But after that, that's what everyone's going to remember. And fans have a really, really long memory. They're really forgiving. I mean, if she were to come out and say, you know, hey, I'm sorry, I kind of got some bad advice or whatever, but I'm not doing that anymore, maybe drop her prices a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, people would forgive her.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a bit of a serious episode tonight.
Hey, we had a little humor in there.
Was there a little humor?
I don't know. Was there? I don't know. I forget what we talked about already.
All right. Well.
But we have a guest coming up for you.
Oh, my God. We have a guest?
We do.
Well, who is our guest tonight? Let's go ahead and...
We have an author coming up.
We have a lot of
Dicey. Yeah, we have Dicey Grenor. So I'm excited to have her come on the store. What? Come on the store. What am I even saying? There's your humor. I just stuttered. Dicey Grenor, I'm really excited to have her on the show. She's going to talk about her novels. She has some spicy, erotic, supernatural, and vampire novels. So Stay tuned because, Dixie, you're really going to want to hear about these.
Everybody loves erotic vampires.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't we take a short break, and we'll bring on Dicey.
Hey, I've got an idea. Let's take a short break, then let's bring on Dicey.
Sounds good. We'll be right back.
Okay. Get to the chopper. And welcome back to Dead Sexy Radio. As always, I am your ever-loving and well-enunciated Dixie with my co-host,
Eliza Jayne.
And we are here tonight, and we have our first guest. We have author Dicey Grenor. Did I get that right?
Dicey Grenor, whatever, it's fine.
Grenor.
But hi.
I totally went wrong even after talking about it.
It's such a beautiful name, though. I love it.
Thank you.
Love the Dicey. I love it.
It's spicy. That's why I love it.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Well, I like it like you're taking a gamble. It's a risk.
Exactly. Exactly. Every book I write, very risky.
So I was looking at some of your books and, your series, The Narcoleptic Vampire.
Yep.
That just strikes me. I mean, I read that and I want to laugh. But I was looking at your, and I don't know if that's if it's a comedic or if it's, I know your description said you like taboo subjects and unconventional romantic, but not porn erotica, but not a romance either.
Right. I mean, there are comedic moments, there are sexy, erotic moments, but it doesn't fit neatly into any one genre. Like, I don't fit neatly into any particular group. I just write, and the characters just come alive as the way I see them. I don't try to make them fit any particular mode. So the storylines, I try to keep it risque and unpredictable. That's where the Dicey, the whole name brand comes from. Mm-hmm. But it's narcolepsy it does have some comedic moments, but I try to not disrespect anyone who actually does have narcolepsy also, you know what I mean? So I try to strike a balance with that.
That's a good point, because it is a real condition. So obviously you make it too much of a comedic, you, especially nowadays, run the risk of insulting someone. And
right.
And of course, yeah, I wouldn't want to insult someone who really had that condition, but
right.
I can see the humor in having a narcoleptic vampire.
Right, that's how it came about. My husband, I've always been into vampires. I loved that ever since Anne Rice, and the first movie I watched, Fright Night, I believe it was, back in the 80s. But my husband and I were talking, and I wanted something that was unique, that was something that was different in a saturated vampire market. And he was like, well, you can have one. I'm going to eat you. And then they fall asleep, So, and we just rolled and hollered. It was so funny at the time. And that's kind of how the story came about.
Nice.
Sweet. Now, where is the series set? Is it,
I'm sorry?
Where is the Narcoleptic Vampire? Where is that set? Is that like a southern setting?
Oh, the setting, yes. It's right here in Houston. Our Montrose area is, I love it. I love going there. Everybody's just themselves, and they can be as wild and as crazy as they want to be, and nobody really bats an eye. So my vampire works at a fetish club in Montrose, but it's not a real club. It's a club that I made up. And so that's where a lot of the naughtiness comes in.
So what is the time setting? Is it an older or is it more modern?
It's modern. It's kind of running parallel to our universe. There's right now, Willow is about to go on stage somewhere to perform at this club, She's about to get riggedy raw up there, maybe cut up some people, let the blood splash. She's going to do a little sexy number. That's going on right now. She's getting ready to go on stage. It's just, it's in my head. That's all.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
So you said Anne Rice was one of your inspirations because you loved her stuff. Did you have any other inspirations growing up reading any other authors?
Well, in the horror genre, I loved Dean Koontz. I read a lot of Stephen King. Dean Koontz kind of became my man for horror, I guess. And then, I started recently reading a lot of paranormal romance. So J.R. Ward was an inspiration. Larissa Ione was an inspiration. And then from there, I just started reading a variety of authors. And I don't know that I have any favorites anymore because after a while, I just it's more like a writing style that I really dig more so than particular characters and stories.
Mm-hmm.
But Anne Rice,
they all write so different.
Yeah, we don't write the same. Anne Rice and I, she's really classical. I think. In my opinion, hers are the king and queen. They dominate. I couldn't aspire to be a writer like her, but it got me interested in reading vampire lore.
Right.
Yeah, I like Anne. I read a lot of her. I think Dean Koontz was probably the first horror writer that I remember who's still around that I read before I got into King. Do you see any parallels between your work and Charlaine Harris other than being set? I've only read one Charlaine Harris novel. Of course, I watched True Blood. And True Blood, to me, was more adult than what I got from at least that first book of Charlaine's. A little more raunchier. Hers seems to be maybe a little more tongue-in-cheek, or at least that's what I got from it, from the book. Do you see any parallels between your works and Charlaine?
I'll tell you what the parallels would be. It's told first person, from a first person's perspective, a female not that Tricky was a vampire, but a female perspective, first person. I have other stories, some novellas that are told from that go into third person and kind of feature other characters that are in the story. But the main novels, my full-length novels, are from Sleepy Willow's perspective. So that is parallel with the Sticky Stackhouse series. I read the first 11. I didn't read the last 2. And also I think she has some sexiness in there. I really love Eric Northman. He was my man. Really loved him. Mine just kind of go to another level of sexiness, into kind of no holds barred sex scenes, and I think hers were kind of more tame, kind of tamer. But I did love the first few books that I read in that series. Probably first person is the only. You know what? Sookie also, she says, let me see, Jesus, Mary Joseph, you know that line that I'm talking about? Mary Joseph and Jesus, Mary Joseph, and something like that. But anyway, so Sookie is kind of fighting with some of her Christian beliefs or her religious beliefs, I think. And my vampire does that also. She goes way off from that, but she struggled with that in the beginning, and that's kind of something that I use to work through my own thoughts and feelings on religion. Willow kind of goes through that a little bit in her experiences, but that's about the only parallels.
It's kind of hard to escape from religion growing up in the South, and I was like that. I have moved away from being religious, but you really can't grow up and totally escape it in the South. So you also mentioned taboo. Now, exactly how taboo are we getting? Of course, the whole idea of making love with a vampire, when you take it down, that's pretty taboo just on itself.
All right, you said I could say anything on the station.
You can say...
Yep, you can say anything on our station.
That series and all of my books, for the most part, have heavily taboo subjects. In the vampire series in particular, I do a lot of the fetishes because she works at a fetish club. So a lot of the different fetishes that I can research, I put in there. There's cinephilia, where somebody has a food fetish. The opening scene in the first chapter has Willow stabbing herself on stage. You know, it's about the bloodletting, and you know, she's a necrophilia specialist. So you know, I get some flack for some of the hardcore scenes like that. For some of the fetishes. I have another novel, Shameful, where the married mother of 3 has an affair with a 16-year-old. You know, you can't really get more taboo than that.
No. Taboo.
Yeah, and there's another one, Best Friends Fantasy Lovers, is I have an Irish rock star, and there are some scenes in there. There are some BDSM scenes, but BDSM scenes, but there's one at the very end that I throw in a lot of stuff. I had a friend tell me, "You're gonna really go to hell for this." So, you know, I just I don't deliberately try to offend anyone, but I work hard at trying to be different. And if it's something, I mean, I don't. A lot of the fetishes that I've done some research on, I don't really see in other books because you kind of alienate mainstream audiences, and that's kind of what I've done in a way. Yeah. And if you're really trying to make money, you're not going to write about this kind of stuff. You know, people gross and all that. But it's just I want it to be different, and maybe 50 years or whatever, or maybe posthumously when I'm dead, maybe someone will look at this and think, wow, you know, she was before her time, a kind of pioneer in these kinds of stories. And that's fine. I mean, I have a day job. So,
no, I think it's really interesting that you're looking for markets that aren't oversaturated. You took like something that you enjoyed, like vampires, and then you took a different spin on it, and you took, you know, like the fetish club, and you took a different spin on it, because so many markets are oversaturated, and I think that you really came up with a clever idea and really took a different direction with some of the things that you wrote about. I like that.
Thank you. And when I'm not getting hate mail, I'm getting people who really are loving it.
Hey, you know, there's something for everyone, and even if, you know, it's not your cup of tea, it might be someone else's, and it's, you know, it's just writing. It's just a book. It's right. It's not going to kill anyone, you know what I mean?
Like Penny Dreadful, I love that show. Do y'all watch that show?
I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
Okay. Well, you know, they have, there are some things and I gravitate towards that kind of thing, in movies and TV shows and books, other books. And so when I do across something where someone has really gone to the extreme, you know, whether it be shock value or something, I'm thrilled. And I know that there is a market for it. You know, you have to tap into those few people who really can enjoy something that's off the wall like that. And they are out there. It's hard to find them, but, yeah, they're there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's one scene also where Willow wraps a seatbelt around her potential lover's neck, and he gets off on that. So, you know, taboo stuff like that is what I write.
Look at how big 50 Shades of Grey has became.
Yeah, they've made it where it's, E.L. James has made a subject that is not new. You know, this has been around.
Right, that's not a new subject at all.
Yeah, we got the story of 9.5 weeks, and the book Addicted by Zane, who was another one of my idols. We've been writing and talking about, I mean, Secretary, I've seen that movie with James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal. So this is not new, but it made it more mainstream, I guess, you know, more households, and people are actually reading and interested in, I mean, you know, the sex toys, the sales just went through the roof. Those toys weren't new either, you know.
Yeah, I think as time goes on, people are becoming more, I mean, people had fetishes. I think it's just becoming more accepted, and more, as generations are going on, people are just becoming more, I guess it's becoming more acceptable to be more open about things like that.
Well, people can talk about it, where before that wasn't something you talked about.
Right.
Like society. society. You didn't talk about your fetishes. And I think 50 Shades, for all the criticism it's got, and I know some people who have read it who are like, oh, it's horrible. Then I know a lot of people who love it. It's got some open discussion where people maybe aren't quite as ashamed to say, hey, I like this. It's maybe a little bit not your usual vanilla romance.
Exactly. I had a birthday party, my 40th birthday party back in September. It was also my I think it was my 8th book release party. So I did a dual party. I had it at the House of Domination here, and I had a mixture of people. Some people who were actually into the life, and then other people who were just curious. And then you had those who were like, I don't know what I'm getting into, but I'm curious and I want to see, or I'm just going to stand over here on the sidelines and wait and see if something jumps off. But it was a mixture. But I also saw that the curiosity was there for a lot of people.
Right.
What's going on? I want to know more. And some people did tell me later, hey, let me know when you do something a little more private.
I think just like with anything, you just have to be really comfortable, like with yourself and your own sexuality, and with your partner to
That's
really
right.
be able to talk about stuff like that. And I think that as a whole, like, and with society, just people aren't comfortable with themselves, and I think that's right. That's just a problem.
Also, I have a character, and she got her own novella, but I have a character that's intersex. I have an intersex vampire, and so that could possibly be a taboo situation for people. It's not to hear about often.
Yeah.
And it was another one of those where I was straddling the fence. I wanted to make sure that I did respect to the character, but then respect to someone who may be intersex, and then also make it where it was larger than life and still an entertaining fictional story.
Very creative.
It has to be a bit of a juggling act, because I grew up at a time where you did see, when I was a child, homosexuals, if they were on television, they were always used for comedy.
Right.
So you grow up with those jokes, and now you have to be careful. And it's like that with even like, maybe 10 years ago, anytime you saw a transgender character, it was used for comedy. And the same thing with bondage, and basically every taboo. If it was out in the public, it was either something totally disgraceful or it was used as comedy.
Yeah.
And it must be kind of a juggling act to keep a character, especially if you're going to have any comedic surrounding it at all, to not be disrespectful.
Right.
Right.
I tell you what, people, and I put this in a lot of the author's forward and the books and everything also. I want to make sure that everybody understands, first and foremost, my whole my whole mission, it's about love and respect and acceptance for everybody, no matter what their quirk is, no matter what their we all have individual type things. Yeah, this vampire might have narcolepsy, and then I have another character with a personality disorder that's really shocking to people. But it's that no matter how different you might be, there is someone that's different, and you can get together and show love to each other. And I know people use the word tolerance. I don't like the word tolerance. I like the word love. I think we should just love everybody for who they are and where they are. And if they're different than you, they're just different. That doesn't make them less than or bad or anything like that. So I try to make sure people understand that. And the reason I have my characters like this, yes, they are. I try to make sure that my story, my plots are different. But the reason that these characters speak to me is because I feel like if this was a real person, these are the type of struggles this person would have to be fit to feel love and acceptance. And this is how I would want it to work out for them. I'd want for them to meet someone else who can accept them for their quirks and it be okay. Matter of fact, hey, did y'all heard about Robert Sheehan, by the way? I'm just totally crushing on him. He's an Irish guy that inspired my best friend's fantasy lover's Irish rock star character. But he's in a movie that's just coming out, The Road Within, and he's playing a guy with Tourette syndrome. And they do a great job with it. Yes, Dev Patel and Zoe Kravitz are in it also. And it is remarkable. But I felt like it has some of the same, hey, love everybody, no matter how quirky they are or what their issues are. And they just do a phenomenal job. And it's funny. You know, they do a good balancing act between having that message in there, at least that's the message I got from it, and still making it absolutely hilarious. Check that out. It's new.
Definitely. The Road Within, correct?
The Road Within, yes. Yeah, I'll check that out. Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy, the television show? Oh, yes. That was one of my favorites. Mine too, and Walton Goggins, one of my favorite actors of all time. Venus, yes.
Venus, I think, and when the first episode was Venus, he was kind of played off as a comedic character, but the way they developed that character into that serious person relationship, I was crying. I think it was one of his last episodes, him and Tig. I was in tears. Yes. And I just loved it. Television has changed so much, and the movies, that you can have these serious representations of people who are different.
Yes, it was beautiful. That was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I definitely suggest that. And The Road Within is going to sit out. Is The Road Within, is that out yet, or is that upcoming?
Well, okay, I follow everything having to do with Robert Sheehan, so I've been waiting on this movie for the last year. He's got 5 that are supposed to be coming out, and I've been waiting on them. So it just came out. It's on iTunes, but it doesn't hit theaters until like another week or so, I think. But you can catch it on iTunes, and I think it's another place online also.
Probably on iTunes. Xbox usually has a lot of the iTunes movies, so I'll give that a check out tonight. I'm looking for something new to watch.
Yeah, check it out and let me know what you think.
Definitely. So to get back to your works, as we stray, as we always do, into stories beyond compare, do you want to plug any upcoming works or give us any sneak previews of any upcoming books, stories?
Sure. Okay, as of right now, there are 3 books from Willow's perspective. I have a paranormal romance that's with Zeke, and she's my intersex vampire, and I have a novella with Punch, who is my werewolf, and his lady love is a dragon. And then there's this other one that's kind of a standalone that's a long-term killer, and it's not for the faint of heart. None of these are, by the way. So what I want to say is that book 4 from Sleepy Willow's perspective is coming out, and I am back working full time. I have a legal career, so it's slower coming, but I'm working on that. That will be the next one that I do. It will be a full-length novel, and it'll tie in a lot of stuff from the whole series, and it may be the last one. Depends on how long it is. If it's too long, I'll put it in part 1, part 2. But that will be the next one. My lovely cover model, Jace Batista, shout out if she ever hears this interview. I love her. She's going to be with me at Comic Palooza. We've done that for the last 2 years, so our 3rd appearance at Comic Palooza at George R. Brown, May 22nd through 24th, I think. 25th, 22nd through 25th. We'll be there. My husband, Danny, is also the cover model on Wolf of Fire. He's the representative of my werewolf. He will be there as well. So we love meeting and talking to people, and I love feedback. Anyone who does read my books, post a review. Let me know what you think. If you hate it, that's fine, too. Just tell somebody about it. Tell them what you hated about it. If sex scenes were gross, tell them. Because I get fans on that, too.
All right. Well, Eliza, any more questions before we have to go to our break here?
So where can fans find you?
I'm all over the Internet. I'm not as active right now as I was before because Facebook has changed a whole lot, and then my workload got really busy. But if they want to keep in touch with me, you can always send me a message on Facebook. I'm at Dicey Grenor. Anywhere online that you want to find me, you can look up Dicey Grenor. That's Goodreads, that's Twitter, that's Facebook. I have a blog also, but I have not done much on it lately. I apologize to people who were following that. It's just, it was just kind of time consuming without really being very beneficial. So people send me messages and I respond back like that. That way I talk directly to people. And I set up a TSU, that TSU with the line over it. I set up one of those accounts, but I haven't really used that lately.
Okay.
I don't think I've really done much to that. But thank you guys so much for having me on. I love talking to people and meeting new people. I hope I didn't talk you to death, though.
Oh, no.
No, you're great. And we'll post your links on our Facebook page. We'll get those up on our website. And anytime that you have something to promote, be sure to let us know. And feel free to post all that stuff in our group, too.
Thank you. Awesome. My website is www.diceygrenorbooks.com. I guess I should.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Eliza and
that.
Dixie.
No problem. Thanks for coming on the show. And good luck.
Thank you. You too. Let me know if there's ever anything you want me to cross-promote on my pages either. I'll send
Will do.
Definitely. And we'll give you a shout-out when the show actually goes live.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Mwah.
And we're going to take a quick break.
And we'll be right back.
I'm Jill Sexy Margazian, and you're listening to Dead Sexy Radio.
And we are back. This is Eliza Jayne. I'm here with...
This is Dixie.
Oh, you're going to be yourself now?
Yeah. I had something else, and then I forgot it like 5 minutes after I thought it up, so.
Did you like my hint of sarcasm? Gave you a little hint of sarcasm there?
A hint of sarcasm. That sounds like a new cologne. A hint of sarcasm.
With a hint of sarcasm, we bring you
I love
Eliza Jayne. That wouldn't be a good clone name.
No, it would be a good clone name. A hint of Eliza Jayne would be a good clone name.
No, it wouldn't. The woman would be like, "What are you wearing, Eliza Jayne?" That would be terrible.
Well, but people do it with Elizabeth Taylor. Like, what are you wearing, Elizabeth Taylor?
That's a woman's cologne. Is it a woman's perfume?
Yeah. And it's Diamonds by Elizabeth Taylor, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, Diamonds is a perfume, isn't it? Or is that, no?
Perfume, cologne, aftershave, all the same.
Oh. Men's cologne does smell better than women's perfume.
Why don't
I love that cool water.
On their legs. Don't they? They don't do that, do they?
What?
Women don't put aftershave on their legs when they shave, right?
No. I don't think they do.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I was never taught to.
Because they have to have something special with a different name that's exactly the same?
No, you just put lotion on.
Oh.
You guys, because you put aftershave on your face.
Why don't men use lotion then?
I don't know. Why don't women use aftershave?
Yeah, it seems like somewhere there was a meeting held and the decision was made that I had no part of.
So someone had a meeting somewhere and they said, men use aftershave, women don't.
Exactly.
Doesn't aftershave burn, though, because it has alcohol in it?
Yes. So apparently there were no men at this meeting. It was all women.
Probably they were like, let's tell the men they must use aftershave. Let's burn these fuckers' faces.
Yeah, it's kind of like that meeting where they decided that men have to stand up when they pee. Just because we can doesn't mean we should have to.
Well, you can sit down, I would imagine.
Yeah, but they make it so hard. You go into a restroom and it's like maybe 2 toilets, and there's this whole, like, communal watering trough that you have to pee in.
Yeah, watering trough. That's so you guys can converse while you're urinating.
It's like someone saw a horse at a horse trough and, like, this would be a good thing to pee in.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I have to do some research for one of the next shows to discuss how that was made.
I know.
This sounds like a whole nother episode.
This is how we, like, don't plan ahead because, like, in the opening, we didn't have anything this good to talk about, really. Well, it was good, but it was just more serious. And
now our closing is more like an opening.
We close the show out, and it sounds like our opening. But, hey.
Now there's no closing.
That's the magic of Dead Sexy Radio.
Now there's no closing. This sounds like a Seinfeld episode, and that's my favorite show.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Oh, well, life goes on.
Hi.
Another chaotic episode of Dead Sexy Radio.
Yeah, so this, if you're listening, Cousin Bob, if you're listening, don't turn off early because you'll miss the best part. Of course, you'll also miss me saying that, so you'll have already turned off, so really, that's okay.
So they wouldn't even hear it.
Bob, my Cousin Bob sucks anyway. Fuck you, Bob. Fuck you, if you're listening. That's another angle.
Well, thanks for listening to Dead Sexy Radio. I'm Eliza Jayne.
And I guess I'm going to have to go since she's already started it. This is the Lincoln lawyer himself, Matthew Dixie, saying goodbye from Dead Sexy Radio.
See ya.
Bye.